Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Sacred and Rooted podcast. It's Lisa Nickel, your host, and I just wanted to welcome you to today. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me. I have another happiness habit episode, and I think there may be a couple more, but it's coming to an end. So if you did like this series, if you want to share it with a friend, that'd be lovely. If you like this episode and want to listen to the rest of the series, they're all there. I think we're somewhere around 10 at this point, I'm not sure. But yep, they're in the podcast, whatever it is, the summary where all the episodes are. Anyways, this morning's episode is brought to you by Deepak Chopra. And his quote today is just perfect for right now. I think I need this episode maybe more than anyone. So I figured I'd record it. And if anyone else needs it, they can have it too. And okay, so Deepak's quote. In the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you. So in the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you. And this, right now, this week, the last couple weeks have been absolutely crazy, with just so much work and so much. We're doing a buyout at the office, the engineering office I work at, and which is exciting and scary all at the same time, but also like just a lot of lawyers, a lot of accountants, a lot of things to sign, a lot of surprises with the bank and different things that everybody needs just like now so that the deal can go through. And so it's been a lot, way more than a lot. And yeah, I can feel myself start to, not all the time, but I've been trying to do it conscientiously where if I get too I don't know what you call it exactly, but when I get too far into, like the urgency of it, the panickiness of it, and it's just like, is this actually gonna finish, or are we gonna really get to the end of the road here, or what? Then you start to get a little less effective, really, and more just and you want to just kind of go home and go to bed and like not do anything for a while because this is all too hard. And so I've been noticing when that starts to kind of bubble up in me, and then consciously doing something to relax my system or settle it down or whatever, something like taking a break, meditating, walking out in nature, sitting just outside in my backyard, touching my feet to the grass, listening to some music that's a little more, relaxing and peaceful and just joyful, and remembering that this is just a phase, it will pass, and it should be great on the other side of it. It's just a bit of a freaking slog right now. So like Deepak says, in the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you. And so I'm trying to move through this phase with the most, I guess I'm trying to just notice in my body how I'm doing, and not just in my mind, because my mind is sort of my first, I would say it's my most natural place. And so my tendency is to, I don't want to say become disembodied, but I can spend endless amounts of time in my mind. And so it's a bit more of a conscious effort to stay in my body and to be embodied, and to be embodied in a way that I want to be, and not as a frantic maniac who's trying to finish too many things at one time. And so, yeah, to keep the stillness inside of you. This is a reminder for all of us. But I feel like this is basically, I'm recording this just for me so I can listen back to it. But I'm sure I'm not the only one. Nobody's ever the only one. So how do you keep the stillness inside of you when things get a little bit freaky and a little bit hectic and chaotic and unexpected ups and downs? How do you keep the stillness inside of you? And that is a lifelong journey. But to really, as you go through life, to notice what really calms you down. What's your home base? Like, where can you go? What can you do to really get those deeper breaths going and to really feel like, okay, like I've been through everything I've been through so far in life. I've gotten through it. It's been good. I've been able to integrate it, hopefully most things, or I'm integrating some other stuff that's the harder stuff. But to really notice what helps you get through and how you can cultivate even more stillness, because it's amazing how much more powerful you can be in your life when you come from a place of stillness and you're consciously responding to things even when they're things that are like coming out of left field and you're like, what the hell? But you can sit there, take a deep breath and just think, okay, what is the best answer here? Instead of getting into the frantic kind of high-strung, like you're outside of yourself and you're just spinning, basically. And the difference that those two types of states are in actually moving you through your life in a way that, like a productive way, a way that you intend to be and intend to embody, compared to what you just unconsciously, like it sort of spirals out of control almost if you're not, sticking with yourself and not able to find that stillness. And so I gave some examples earlier. I've been doing all of them lately. And, and that's the thing too, is when, your life is in a little bit of a chaos phase, or there's lots of surprises, good and bad. Sometimes it feels like you don't have time to do the exact things that you should make time to do, so that then the rest of the day goes just a lot smoother. Yesterday I had a funny morning as far as just, I had a meeting to go to. I was 5 minutes late and it was sort of a walk around meeting, and so they had already left and there was, just nobody there. They had nobody free to bring me to the group again. However, they were having the exact same meeting, an hour and a half later. So they're like, no problem, just come back for that one and you can join in. So that's what I did. But in between that, I was thinking, what a waste. How did I get so late? Like, what the hell? How come I never leave enough time for things sometimes? But then the funniest thing happened, and I had my phone, I don't know, I had my phone in my hand. Somehow it changed pages I don't know how it did this, but it changed the photo on my background on my home screen. And so when I went to go look at it to make sure I could actually make the next meeting, it had changed the photo to a picture of me with this hat on that I have, that literally says on the hat, it says vibrate higher. And I just freaking laughed. I thought it was just freaking hilarious. And I'm just like, seriously, universe? Like, what the hell? But the freaking comedy that comes out of things sometimes with the universe is hilarious. And so and God knows how I did that or what buttons I pressed, like subconsciously or like accidentally. But the timing of that reminder was spot on. And so yeah, I did. I right away I was like, yeah, I need to like collect myself here and just get some work done in the meantime, go to the next meeting, it'll be fine. And it didn't throw my day off because I didn't let it. And sometimes it's as easy as that, where it's like we have so many choices every day. I think sometimes if we're thrown for a loop or there's some surprise thing that happens, we have a tendency to kind of like, oh my God, like this, almost let it drag you down the rest of the day, and to just say to yourself, like, it's all right. Yeah, I'm late, totally late. I own it. It's my fault. If I can get accommodated in the next meeting, that'd be awesome. I have my laptop with me. I can work in the meantime. Nothing is really, it's not that serious. So let's just get on with it. And then, the whole bunch of other things happen with the bio stuff. So anyways, it was definitely a day of lots of different twists and turns, but it's okay because I was able to keep my stillness amongst the chaos, and it felt so much better in my body and my mind and my psyche. And somehow, the good things were great and the bad things weren't as bad, because it didn't really stick to me the same way it would have if I was really getting dragged down by each little thing. And so, yeah, I would encourage you to just notice if if maybe you rhymed off 5 things right away, this is how I, reset myself. This is how I remain calm. This is how I get back to my center, so that when you make decisions, you can make them from your heart, your like soul, your like a true place, not just a panicky like, I guess I'll just do this, and then later on you're like, oh my God, what the hell, that just made 5 other things worse than they could have been, kind of thing. So yes, I think I mentioned meditation. That would be a brilliant one. Of course, that is, it's just so nice. It's like it's a giant breath of fresh air, but it's also like cleansing your mind. It kind of clears out the trash in your mind. It just re-dips you in the pool of like eternity, of all possibilities. And so if that's the other thing, is sometimes when we're in chaos, we only see like this or that, and we start limiting the solutions we can see, the potentials we can see. And so the way, when you do keep stillness inside of you as you move through your day, you're literally bringing with you like a perspective of, like everything is figure outable. I think that was from Marie Forleo. Like literally everything is figure outable. And so nothing is like a permanent problem forever. It's just like, okay, we'll figure it out. Or like, okay, that's a problem. What can I do? Like, what's the fastest way we can solve this? And maybe somebody already knows how to solve it. And they just are telling you they need you to participate or whatever it is. And so to just, to try and move through your day with stillness will allow you to carry, that unlimited potential, that, I don't know, some people would probably call it optimism, but really it's just like seeing that there's way more to life than just like a black and a white. It's like there's every shade of gray and everything else in between. And so to know that and to really embody that, and then as you move through chaos and whatever, it's almost like I picture myself floating through it instead of like thrashing through it kind of thing, because that's how it feels in my body. It's like, it's not the same experience physically as far as, tightness and tenseness and stress goes. It's not like that when you have a core practice of stillness. It's much It feels like floating, because it's like nothing really sticks to you for as long as it would if you were really thrashing through it, because you can kind of move through, solve problems, get through things, figure out what's the next right thing, not get all caught up in the next 100 steps, just what's the next right thing. And that keeps it all in a better perspective. So, just as a summary, in the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside you. Ways to keep stillness inside you that I know of, that I love, that people I know that I've worked with, that I'm friends with, like, that they use. Meditation for sure, exercise for sure, a simple gratitude practice, following the moon cycles, even just so that you're consistently reminding yourself of the cycles of life, the bigger cycles and the smaller cycles. And so when you're in that kind of larger perspective, you don't get caught up in the details as much as you would if you were, only in your 3D life all the time, because that's not the only experience to be had, for sure. Deep breaths, take breaks, walk around the freaking office, walk outside, call a friend. I think there was a game show that used to do that, right? I can't remember what it was. Or one of the things, if you couldn't figure out the answer, there was 3 things you could do, and one of them was call a friend. I always thought that was funny. Sometimes the friends knew, sometimes they didn't, but it was still nice to just talk to your friend, I think, to just get a little, perspective. But yeah, anything you can do. Yoga, I guess that maybe is part of the exercise, but yoga is kind of a mix between meditation and exercise, I find. Nature's awesome, because nature's just nature. Like, it's been here for way longer than we have, and it'll be here for longer than we are. And so that, again, is like to just get you out of the instant feeling of anxiety and overwhelm, because the bigger perspective is it'll pass, you'll be fine, you'll grow through it, it'll be great. And don't worry about it. It's not going to be the end of you or anything. It's just something to get through. All right, so I think that's it for this one. Maybe it's a bit longer than 10 minutes or so, but I just sometimes go on a bit of a endless chat to myself here. Anyway, I will see you next time, and I hope in the meantime that this has inspired you, or will inspire you, to kind of just be more conscious of how you're feeling as you move through your day, and where you're starting to kind of maybe get a little too overwhelmed, a little anxious, and how you can really sink back into your stillness inside of you, that timelessness. Tap into that, and then go back out into your daily life and handle whatever you need to handle, because we're all grown-ass adults here, and so sometimes we need to handle stuff that we don't want to handle, or that seems really hard to handle, and it's God damn it, I wish we could just, let's all go lay on the couch for a while, go read a book, I just want to sit in a hammock. For sure I have those thoughts, but that's not what life is presenting right now. So I have to just get through it, and there'll be a time for that later, at some point. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please subscribe to the podcast channel, share with a friend, leave a review, send me an email. I'd love to hear from you about how you're finding it. If you have any ideas for episodes coming up in the fall, that'd be awesome, because I am putting together my list of ideas, so it would be a great time to get yours in too. All right, take care, have a great day, and I will see you next time.